Man, remember in 2016 where we were just at the start of the DCEU. And it all started with 2013's Man of Steel. Zack Snyder created Man of Steel, and then it kind of just blew wide open after Batman v Superman. And we had a slate in 2016 that was really awesome, and that was the DCEU, really. When Zack Snyder left, it's still the DCEU, but it's just no longer the Snyderverse, right? Because what is the Snyderverse? Let's get into that. What people are arguing, we want the Snyderverse. And I guess my question is, what is the Snyderverse to you? I can tell you what the Snyderverse is to Zack Snyder. I mean, Zack Snyder had revealed himself. He talked to Grace Randolph and told us what his Snyderverse is.
And so for me, I think Justice League, I've heard someone say like, oh, like, so you're entering the Snyderverse now when you watch and frankly, this notion that, what you'll see in Justice League and Batman vs Superman and Man of Steel, there's continuity across those three movies. That's really, I think, very, because I made them, I think that's my main focus, is to satisfy that narrative structure,
to continue that story that so many people fell in love with.
Right.
Well, I really we were talking about this beforehand, in the run up to this, and I loved your explanation that it is like those great runs when you have these really amazing artists with visions take over a comic book character and just do like this really high art version of what they would do with that character if they were telling a story with them.
Yeah, and that's exactly how I feel about it. I just think that it's like these characters will live long past what we do, and they're going to go on other adventures into who knows where, space and time, and who knows. Thank God.
Yeah.
So for me, it's really, I'm doing what I can at this time with these amazing actors and characters and situations in this scenario, and I just think that I'm blessed to have these actors sort of fill these shoes in this way that I think people really care about.
So yeah, basically Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, Justice League 1, Justice League 2, and Justice League 3. His 5-part arc. That essentially to him is the Snyderverse. All these other movies were absolutely going to be directed by other people. Having been gone for this long, the DCU has kind of moved on without him. He still says this is his Snyderverse. There is an arc here that is not complete. As thankfully we got the Snyder Cut, which is Zack Snyder's Justice League 1. There's still Zack Snyder's Justice League 2 and 3. Still to be had, still even made. And we still want to see it, because that's awesome. Because it was a great vision. And that all could definitely go to HBO Max. They don't even have to touch or even talk about the DCU if they're really going to kind of bring in this multiverse idea.
So also the fans, what they want to know, there's been a lot of talk about continuity, cinematic universes, right? That just dominates comic book movie discussion overall these days. And some fans have been wondering how, or even if, your version of Justice League relates to the rest of the DCEU. Care to clarify?
Yeah, no, it's a good question, in that, we shot the movie in 2016, so
things happen fast in Hollywood.
It'll be 5 years old when it comes out. For me, I've been living with it for that long. So, I think that and frankly, the DC, cinematic universe has gone on its branched like a tree and blossomed and grown and amazing in great ways. I'm a producer on Wonder Woman 84, and I'm super excited about what Patty's done with that movie, and it's amazing, and I love that, how I love that character, and I love Gal. It's very close to me, and so that's great, that's amazing, I think, to me. And you look at what Matt's doing with Batman, and you have this. And by the way, I think I'm super excited about that. By the way, I really
I think it'll be very interesting.
I think he's an amazing filmmaker, and I think this is a great. And Robert's cool, and I just think it's cool. Anyway,
I'm sure they appreciate that.
well, it's just that I'm a fan, so I'm excited. For me, in the where the movie falls is it's sort of I believe that it really starts to represent its own path. It doesn't really. It's kind of separate now from what I would say the DC universe, cinematic universe in continuity. I think it's divergent in that way. And I think that that's a good thing. I think that, the power of DC and one of its cool strengths is the sort of multiverse concept where, and also where they kind of put filmmakers first and say, you know what, guys, we want to hear your voice, your individual voices, take these characters and do a run and sort of show us what, you would do in sort of the great tradition of comic book writing and runs that have been done with all these amazing characters. So I think that is a cool and amazing sort of canvas.
This is the new DCU. When we call it a DC expanded universe or a DC extended universe, depending who you talk to, that's what that is. This is the Snyderverse. It's in its own universe. It could still exist, and hopefully it will. Hopefully that it will come one day, and Zack Snyder will be able to do all these other films that he wanted to make. And then, that's ultimately what I think, to me, Restore the Snyderverse is all about. This vision right here. And yes, spinning off from this vision could get the Ben Affleck Batman movie, Ray Fisher Cyborg movie, The Atom, and all those other movies. Yes, of course, but it starts here, and it will occupy its own space. Now this will occupy their own space as well. And hopefully, if that's true, that, like Jim Lee says, that every universe exists and will exist and still exists, and nothing will take over the other, then this could still exist over on HBO Max. And I believe that's how it should go, so that we can finally see what Zack Snyder truly wanted with his 5-part arc.